development, orienting the teacher educators for online teaching, helping the teacher educators to get acquainted with digital aspects and different platforms for online teaching and learning, helping to get acquainted with the nuances of online pedagogy and online strategies for the teaching and learning of English. The facilitator for this session, Digital Readiness, is Mr. Satyaraj Iyer. He is a senior education consultant and have worked extensively around education technology and hosting our first session. Now over to Satya sir. Welcome sir.
Thank you, Asmita ma'am. Okay, so I hope you can hear me, and let's start this session. And what we will do in the next 2 hours is basically we'll first go through a small understanding of the platform, of the technologies that are currently in usage across Chhattisgarh and all of India, and also try to understand how we are using these technologies into classrooms and making ICT enabled learning environment for our students. So before we start, let me sort of help you with the house items. As you are all aware, you are all joining through desktops, laptops, and most of you would be probably joining through mobile phones. And on the mobile phones, you will have an option to raise hand. So in case at any point of time you have any questions or any queries, feel free to raise the hand on the mobile app or on the desktop so that I will open your mic and then you can ask your questions. All right. So with that, let's get started. Meanwhile, I also tell you that there is a chat box option available in the participant panel. Feel free to use it. And in between, I will also ask questions to you. So you can respond to the questions in the chat box, or you can also open your mic and answer the question. Okay. So before I start, I'll once again confirm if at all I'm audible to all of you. I'll ask Mr. Arif sir, can you hear me? Arif sir, Arif Hussain Siddiqui sir, can you hear me? Stanley John sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is my audio clear? Is my audio video clear?
Yeah. Both are clear.
Okay, great, thanks. All right. So since the topic is of quite interest today, we're talking about digital skills and how do we use them in classroom scenario. So to start with, let us first understand what is ICT. Can anyone tell me what is ICT in the context of education? I'll leave the floor open to the participants. I see 28 participants have joined us already, and more participants will be joining us soon. So can anyone tell me what is meant by ICT? How do we correlate it to education? You may please open your mic and then answer the question. In case I'm fast, please let me know. I'll be a little slow.
We can use, sir, we can use our content.
Right. Sir, please introduce yourself and the answer, sir.
Sunil Sharma from DITE Kharaghat.
Right, sir.
And we can use the information technology for easier way to learn any content.
Right, sir. So what do you mean by easier way, sir? Can someone elaborate on that? What is
easier way means that is we can say it is also like TLM.
Great.
Teaching learning material. We can use it as a teaching learning material, and we can gather all those material all over the world.
Fantastic, sir. Any other answer? Any other answer to complement sir's answer? Would anyone want to try? What is meant by ICT? Can anyone tell? I'm sure you have all taken an online test. I'm told that 60% of you have taken at least once or twice an online class. So I'm sure at least you would be knowing what is meant by ICT.
Okay, sir, it's ICT. Basically, we use for taking online classes. We can use it through Zoom, and many students can be connected with it very easily. We can also show our content to them. And even if in the offline classes, we use technology using PPTs, etc., to make our classes more easier and make students understand. So it is not only using technology; it's also using it in the right place, in the right way, so that we can make our uh, contact with the students more easy in a easier way. That's
Fantastic.
it.
May I please know your name?
I'm Rima Sharma from ISA.
Fantastic. A big round of applause for madam. I think more or less both the participants have covered what ICT in education context means. So with that, let's get started. What I will do is now I will share my screen. Please let me know in case you are able to see it. Right? Can you see my screen? Can you see the presentation that I'm
No, sir.
Can you see it now?
Okay, you are starting to share the content, but content is not on the screen.
Okay, then it should load up in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, we can see it now.
Now, yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
So basically, today's session, I didn't want to keep it, one way. One of the biggest flaw of the online education or the online classrooms is, it is always unidirectional, right? Most of you have written in the survey that almost 80%, close to 80% of the respondents in the survey floated by Lalit sir yesterday responded saying that, online classes are unidirectional in nature. Basically, teacher talks and student listen. That's all. So to break this myth and to set an example as to how we can make online classrooms more interactive, I will use this presentation only as a reference material, so please go through it. I will not read the presentation. I would like to sort of have an interaction in an engaging way so that all of us participate and take some learnings. I'm sure that you also have certain learnings with you which you will share in this session today with all the other participants as well, right? So, since we have already talked about ICT, do we really need ICT? There is always this question that the COVID-19 or pandemic has forced us to sort of adopt to advanced technologies. Of course, these technologies are not new to us. There have been technologies around us long before the pandemic, but maybe the usage or adoption may be a little slower. So, do we really need ICT in classrooms? Do you think is there any requirement for it? The Oxford University, the research team has actually found a cure for the coronavirus, and intermittently in some time we will also have a lot of cases going downward trend. So obviously schools will reopen, teacher will go to the classrooms will go back to the normal. So why do we then need ICT? Why do we need to have a session like this today? Can anyone tell me? Is it important? Why is it important if so?
Sir, I think ICT is not only for online classes, it is also for in-class use. We can use audio lessons, we can use video lessons, we can use even a video clipping to teach in the offline class also, in the classroom also, because it is not just taking classes on computers, it is also taking classes off computers with the help of ICT. So I think it is more important to know, to be techno-friendly and to know how to use things up, so that even if we go into class, we can use it the way we want to explore the things. So many things that are there on the YouTube also, and so many things are there which we can make our children learn and understand only if we know how to use it. That's it.
Fantastic, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, as you have already said,
I want to say,
yes, sir. Please
Oh.
introduce and then talk, sir.
sir, it is not useful only during the COVID-19, but also it is
Sir, I'll interrupt you for a bit.
useful for all. Okay,
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you for a bit. This session is getting recorded.
okay,
Hence, I
okay.
would request you to please state
Okay,
your
okay,
name and then please answer the question, sir. Hello. Sir, please state your name and from which place you're talking and then answer the question, sir.
I am Sunil Sharma from Diet Kharagad, sir.
Okay, sir.
I would like to say about the online classes or ICT. It is not only useful during the COVID-19. It is useful for all time, for our students, for our teachers, for training.
Right, sir. So there is always this debate as to children don't have mobile phones, there are no smartphones, there is no connectivity, there is no internet. So there is always this question around ICT. So in such a case, how do you think that ICT can actually help children? first let's understand that. I'd request anyone can answer this question. Why do you think that this model is successful despite the fact that we have so much of bottlenecks around us, especially given in a state like Chhattisgarh, where there are set of challenges which are unique to Chhattisgarh. So why do you think that this model can be successful, if not now, at least in the future?
Sir, I'm Reema Sharma again. What I feel is that even if we do not have the access to internet in many places, we were yesterday having a webinar and there was so much disturbance there because of this internet connection and all. But still, we always have a chance of recording our things up and then presenting things again to the students in the maybe say in a capsule form in WhatsApp, or we can put it on the YouTube so that whenever the child gets the chance, he can get access to it. So once, if we record things up and we prepare the lessons, it is for them to use always at any time and any place. So I think this helps the child to be free to use the classes whenever he wants to use it in his own access.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Once again. Anyone else wants to answer, or should I continue? Okay. So, one of the big drawbacks, before I talk about the good things about online education, is, most often we take things for granted, right? We open up WebEx, we open up Zoom or whatever software, and we start taking online classes, and we expect our students to be there. And in case students are not joining, we assume that, classrooms are not actually good, or the teacher is not teaching good. And hence, we don't take classes or we don't engage on a continual basis. This notion is actually wrong. To start with, an important thing for all of us as teachers is to understand what percentage or what set of students actually have access to these gadgets or internet devices. And before we do a survey, it is actually not a right way to start online classes, right? So this is the first important step, that before you start your online class, please take a look at your population students, right? As to how many of them have access to devices and how many of them have access to internet, especially given in the lockdown. Many parents were at home, therefore the child was able to have access to the devices. But now, given that the lockdown is over and unlock has started, parents are now away. Therefore, it is not expected that the child will have access to mobile phones during the daytime. So therefore, it is a challenge for most of the teachers to organize classes during the daytime. But there have been instances where teachers are also conducting classes in the wee hours, in the early hours, and also in the late evenings. So that is something that we should always look at, as to how we can make the classrooms more flexible in terms of the children and not in terms of us, right? Although working hours for us might be slightly different, right? Second thing, there are obviously ways through which we have been reaching out to students, at least in the context of Chhattisgarh. We have got several platforms in and across the country. For example, Diksha is one platform. And of late, we have also started something called as Padhai Tuvar Dwar. And I'm sure all of you have registered yourself there. And, students have also been taking online classes and attending the content which are uploaded there by you. So having said that, most students participate and they also learn. We also have good data analytics in terms of the usage of students and of teacher. And it is definitely positive for us to understand that, despite given all the bottlenecks, students are learning, given that they have an access to mobile phone. So, there is always a myth. Online education is basically VC, virtual conferencing. So you start up WebEx and then you start taking classes. That is an online class. Is there something beyond online class which is actually beyond Zoom or beyond WebEx? Does someone want to say anything around that? Do you think that online learning is just about coming online and talking like this interactive format, or is there something beyond that? Yeah, anybody can answer. And in case I'm fast, please let me know. I'll go a little slow. In case you want to answer the question, please unmute yourself and then answer. And just to tell you that this session is actually getting recorded. So in later point of time, in case you want to replay it, you can. Yeah, please, sir.
Hello, I am Saeed Qureshi calling from Bohla, Rajnandgaon. You just tell us that the WebEx is the only method by which we can teach our students, or this is the only method by which we can teach our learners. But I think there are many other ways by which we can connect to them online, not offline, like WhatsApp. You can make WhatsApp groups. In WhatsApp groups, you just make the group of your learners. You keep sending them some videos recorded at your home, and just you can get the feedback also from them. This way, WhatsApp can be one of the things that can be used apart from the WebEx. And one more idea is that recently I surveyed one of the villages. Hello,
Please go ahead, sir. I
is it
can hear you.
audible to everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Recently, I just did a survey of a village in the vicinity. Where I found that there is no any connectivity, but about 40 to 45 students of my schools are there. I contacted them and told them that how I'm going to help you. Then they said, sir, we have no phones, so how can we get connected with you? In that case, there was also a prohibition that you cannot open schools. In that case, it was really a dilemma type condition for me. So I just did one thing. I said, okay, some of you have phones at your home. And if the condition is such, in that case, I can record something on chip, and I'll take the chip to you and then transfer it to one of the phones from you, and then you can transfer it to others, and this way you will get some learning material. And if you have any doubts in that learning material, you can connect me with any other sources like WhatsApp. If any student is able to run WhatsApp in that case, so this is also one of the ways by which we can connect with the learners. This is something what I think about the
Very nice.
other than the
Thank you
WebEx
very much
online.
for also sharing experience as to how your students are joining. Thank you very much, sir. Right.
Okay.
So I overheard a madam speaking. In case you want to say anything, ma'am, please, you can go ahead. Right. So like sir just mentioned, online learning is not just about coming onto a virtual classroom session and attending a video conferencing classroom the way that we are doing right now. Online classroom is beyond that, and almost 80% of it is actually happening on a non-live classroom, right? That is what is online classroom. So we technically term this as synchronous and asynchronous learning. Synchronous is something that happens over the air, which is actually live, right? And it is aided by an instructor, which is actually live. So therefore, the student can interact dual way and understand the concepts through the help of teacher. And of course, the content material also being available. Second, we talk about asynchronous learning. And this is a type of learning where the student uses the resources which have been uploaded by an instructor at his time of convenience and at his place of convenience, and interacts with the course by using offline aids, right? So this is the asynchronous way of learning. And what we see on Padhai Tuvar Dwar is most of the teachers have equally balanced the asynchronous and the synchronous part, right? We've got about 2 lakh teachers who have registered on themselves on the portal, and we see roughly about 70 to 80% of them who have been taking regular classes, right? Of course, most of them have been taking classes, but at least 70 to 80% of them have been taking regular classes on a daily basis. And then we have also got a set of teachers who have very proactively uploaded the content on the portal, right? So as on date, we have got roughly about 25,000 pieces of content, which can be classified into videos, audios, PDFs, worksheets, images, quizzes, assessments, and so on and so forth. So this has been the contribution by our own teachers in the state, and this way they are enabling the state to learn in a synchronous and asynchronous manner. And if at all you are to ask me, sir, which is more important or which is more crucial for a child, is it online learning through asynchronous mode, or is it through offline learning through asynchronous mode? And I would definitely say that there has to be a mix of both, and the weightage has to be given more towards the asynchronous learning. Why so? Because asynchronous learning has to be aided by a teacher at his place or virtually, right? There have been instances in the state where teachers have been going from door to door, or what we call mohallas, and conducting classes there with bunch of kids, right? They have made it possible that every week or twice a week they visit the students and they give them homework, they evaluate the homework, they teach them, right? And in the spare time, children are made to do some work. This is also another type of learning which is happening in an asynchronous way and is more suited to places where connectivity and device penetration is very low, right? So, like sir just mentioned from DIET, that some of his students are also engaging with him through WhatsApp and other modes. I think this is also a very important learning for most of the teachers to start taking classes in a manner which is more convenient to the students from his place of residence. Second, we talk about online learning mode, right? Of course, I talked a lot about the asynchronous mode. Now, coming back to online mode, which is of today's topic and of interest to most of us who have joined this session. So what I've done is basically I have shared a couple of points with you as in terms of how can you structure the entire online mode when you take classes, right? So online mode is of course one type of mode where smartphone and internet connectivity is available with the student and with the teacher, and it is seamless connectivity. When I say seamless, I mean it is not interruptive in nature and it is having no buffering at all. Then it makes your online classroom experience more smooth and enjoyable for the students as well. Otherwise, you would have seen or experienced yourself that when you are sitting in a room where connectivity is very low, and then you see that your teacher speaks and then he or she gets off and on intermittently, it creates problem for you as a listener, and you don't want to get, you don't want to attend the class anymore. And the chances are that you will probably not even attend the next classes because you have already had a bad experience attending the class, right? This is not something new, but most of us have experienced this. And I'm sure that you would have taken precautions that before you start your online classes, you keep your Wi-Fi or second internet device connected so that in case the internet falls away, you are able to sort of back it up and continue the classes, right? Second, we have got partially online mode where the internet is not available regularly, or let's say it is not available on a continual basis, but students are able to learn through a blended approach. That is what we call as a flipped classroom model, right? So before even the pandemic started, this flip model has been in existence in many parts of the world and even in India. So basically what teachers do is they assign certain homeworks or certain reading material to students, which has to be done passively by the students at home, and then they come to the classroom for a discussion or for interaction. That is what classrooms are meant for, and that's how the classroom sessions are taken in a flipped manner. So this is another model which is now being explored, and as the unlock slowly happens and schools gradually start to open, we will probably also have to adopt measures wherein flip model is also based for our teaching and learning process. So that is the second type of learning mode. Third model we just talked about, which is asynchronous, which happens on an offline mode where there is no internet connectivity or very less bandwidth with the student, right? Yeah, someone wants to say something? Okay, so the third model is of course where connectivity is very less. Of course, there are something called as LMSs. What is LMS? LMS is nothing but learning management system, right? So there are advanced form of learning management systems which have been created. For example, Google Classroom is one model. Moodle is another LMS. Open source LMS. OpenEdX is another open source LMS. So there are several different kinds of LMSs which are in use across the country, where teachers actually track individual performance of students by giving them assessments and ensuring that the course completion is happening as per the pre-decided pace. Now, for a state like Chhattisgarh, I think the Department of School Education has done a commendable job by initiating a similar platform wherein individual performance of students are also tracked and teachers are also able to assign homework to the students. How do we do that? We'll see that in the next coming slides, but this is to do with the types of online learning. If any questions, you may please unmute yourself and ask.
Please once again explain about flipped classroom.
Right. So I'm actually showing you a second slide which talks about the partially online mode, which is to do with the flipped classroom model, right? So I don't know how many of you have actually seen the Pragyata instructional guidelines, which was recently released by MHRD. Has anyone gone through it? It talks elaborately on online classrooms, and at least you would have read in papers that online classroom scheduling, or there is some capping in terms of how many hours you need to engage students. Has anyone gone through it? There is this document called Pragyata. Okay, if at all you have not gone through it, I will share it in the group. Please go through it. I have also taken excerpts from that same document and I've shared it here in my slide. So in case you don't have the time to go through it, please attend the session. You will find the benefit of reading the PDF also. So like I just mentioned, for the partially online mode, or so-called a blended model, the student need not continuously attend or stick to his mobile device or internet, right? This is very pertinent, especially to a state like Chhattisgarh, like I just mentioned. And in a model like flipped classroom, what we do is we essentially give reading activity for the students, which needs to be done at his time of convenience and at his place of convenience. We just initiate as to what reading material has to be given, how it has to be read, and the child does all the reading at home. And what we do in the classroom or on an online session is basically engage the students in a dual way or an interactive manner, right? Such that students are also responding to the questions what teacher asks, and teacher is also able to assess whether the students are able to understand or not. This is very, very important, especially given that online classes are often seen as one way of communication, which is actually not the right way of perceiving it, right? I hope you agree with me, and I hope you will break this myth, at least in this online session, right? And you will also so keep talking and answering and make this classroom slightly bit more engaging and interesting for the other participants. So I will put a break here and let me sort of go with other teachers, as I see that there are some teachers who have joined us now. Has anyone so far conducted any online class where you have adopted these kind of models? Would anyone want to say anything, or at least you would have seen any teacher doing this type of classrooms? You may please speak. Prasanna madam, yes.
Yeah, Satya. I
Sir,
want to
Prasanna sir,
share
please.
you two experiences. Yeah, I want to share you two of experiences. One is from Coursera. That was also a flip or blended type of course which I have done. On that course, professors were given video lessons. After that, they put some assignments, and we have again resent to the Coursera. And in his Hingran's program, there was online course in conference call mode. He gave us some assignments which we have written and sent it back to him. And we all from different states. In our state, Sandhya ma'am and myself attended that course. So it is also a type of online or blended. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience. And you actually brought up a very interesting topic of MOOCs, Coursera you just mentioned, right? So massive open online courses, so-called MOOCs, have also created a greater spurge in terms of the usage. But I'll also tell you an interesting fact that the completion rate of any of the MOOCs is not more than 5%, or probably even lesser than that. Why do you think that MOOCs have not actually been successful to sort of crack the model of completing the entire course by the students? Can anyone answer that question? If at all you have attended any Coursera or any online courses, the chances are you would have left it in between.
Coursera,
Yes.
In Coursera and his Jingran course, both I encountered the same problem. Most of candidates registered in grade G, but after some time, they got any sort of problem or not interested. Like Mr. M. Sudhis also left that course. So these are some experiences which I have encountered during doing those courses.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Absolutely right. So basically, when we take online classes, because you're talking about online classes, one important thing that very few teachers have been actually prominently doing it, is taking their students along, right? When I say taking students along, what does it mean? I'll give you an example. There are two sets of teacher. One set of teacher who takes online classes regularly, like every day. And she or he is very focused in terms of the numbers of students who are actually joining, right? One class, 80 students, second class, 85, third class, 100 students have joined. And second, third, fourth class, 200 students have joined. And there is another teacher who takes classes regularly, and there are not more than 7 students, but same 7 students are joining on the class. What do you think is a successful model here? Should I repeat myself? Should I repeat? Okay. So I am under the assumption that all the teachers who have joined this session are basically watching this session right now, and they are paying attention to the class. And in the days to come, we will also sort of be the frontline leaders who will engage the online classrooms for your students. So therefore, I expect that every one of you takes the opportunity to sort of come forward and respond, so that we know as to whether we are being effective in terms of whatever instructional deliveries we are sharing right now. So my question is, once again I repeat, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Great. So there are two teachers. Teacher A, who takes weekly classes, but in her weekly classes there are lots of students joining, right? 100, 200, 250 students joining. But she has no idea of who these students are. Sometimes it is teachers who are joining the classes, sometimes it is the students who join the classes. She has no clue, but she is satisfied that there are 200 students who joins her class every week, and this number is actually growing. That is one teacher. Second teacher takes the classes on daily basis, but there are only 7 students who join her class, and they join regularly. What do you think, or which do you think is a good model of teaching?
So I think the second one is better, because the students, those number is less, but the students are joining regularly, and because they are joining regularly, they'll be able to understand the content properly, and learning will actually happen there, because 200 students or 300 students joining at a time, and they are not regular. So whatever the teacher is saying is just a waste of time, I think, because if the regularity is not there in the class.
Excellent.
So
Yes, ma'am, I agree with you.
Yes, sir. Excellent, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful response.
Second one is better one. Yes.
Second one is
Same
better.
thing happening in this scenario.
Right, sir. Sushant, sir, thank you. Right. So this is something that we have all encountered. You know, most of the teachers get really disappointed. In one class, there are 100, and second class, there are only 10 students. And therefore, they stop taking classes. And sometimes they even call me and they say, sir, मेरे पिछले क्लास में 100 बच्चे जुड़े थे, इस क्लास में 10 बच्चे जुड़े, सर मेरे को अब इच्छा नहीं हो रही है ऑनलाइन क्लास लेने की, लगता है कि किसी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, या जो मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ उसमें किसी को रुचि नहीं है, तो मैं शायद क्लास थोड़ा कम करने वाली हूँ या करने वाला हूँ. So I keep getting these types of calls. Yes, sir. So when we work with our students, I think an important learning, at least for me, has been that you need to take your students along with you. Right? So even if there are 15 or 20 students who join your classes, you need to note down who these students are and ensure that you have a seamless interaction with these students regularly, not just on the online class, but also after the online class, so that you understand what the need of the child is and whether he or she is able to keep pace with your online class. I think that is the model that we need to sort of explore. Now, I have enrolled myself to several online classes in the last 5-6 years, and one model which I really liked was, I would not name, I don't know what the name of the course was. I took it some 3 years back. It was on digital marketing, right? So this course was being offered by one of the startups. The concept was that while I register for a class, I'm also assigned to a personal mentor, right? This is a concept which we are seeing of late in many of the startup e-learning platforms, that there is a mentor, personal mentor, who is assigned to you, who on regular basis calls you and he checks whether you are attending the classes, whether you are having any problem, whether you are learning or not, whether the test given by you is, whether your performance has been good or not. If not, then what you need to do, what are the strategic steps you need to take in order to improve yourself, some remedial measures. So these are some of the ideas which are given to me by my mentor of the course. Okay, the mentor is basically who coordinates the course. So this is something of very great interest to me also, and there are many small startups which have started doing this type of learning. So while I was talking about the MOOCs, I raised an important question. I said, why the completion ratio of MOOCs is very low? Because self-interest of completing an online course which is passive in nature is always very less. And the chance is that you end up not finishing the course, but just skipping through or skimming through the entire course. Now in this type of model, the problem is the child will also not show any interest, and you will also have no idea in terms of whether your class is effective or not. So therefore you need to slightly blend it, wherein you also bring in a personalized approach for your online classrooms. And this is where I initially mentioned that you need to keep interacting with your students, identify who are these students who regularly attend your classes, and make a separate batch and seamlessly collect feedback from the students and measure whether your classrooms are effective or not. This is a very, very, very scientifically proven method of ensuring that the child attends the classrooms regularly, provided he has access to the device and the internet, right? Otherwise, there are also measures by which you can keep a tab on the child. There have been cases where teachers also call the student via his normal phone or the neighbor's phone, and they interact with the child. So this is another model that a couple of teachers have been doing in Chhattisgarh also, and probably you may also want to explore this type of model, right? So any questions or anything that anyone wants to share here? Shall I go forward, or do you want to say something? Prasanna sir, you have raised hand.
Yes, sir. In your which you have said right now, yes, that is adapted from our distance mode of learning. That pattern, mentor in a group in IGNOU's correspondence course, they always appoint some local mentor for those students who are doing those courses. So it is one of very effective method of tracking or follow up those students and make them continue learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasanna sir. I also want other participants to be more interactive. I'm assuming that all of you are paying attention to the class. Please respond to the questions. That way, I also know what I'm talking is sensible, and you also sort of get a chance to speak with other participants and share your experiences. I'm very sure that all of you who are attending this session are very, very experienced in your field, and you have been taking classes regularly. Therefore, I really want to make this classroom sessions more interactive and engaging through your experiences. So please feel free to stop me in any point of time, and in case you want to share any feedback, please do so. Right? Next, we now move on to the next part, which is about understanding how do we sort of take the online classes through Padhai Tuar Dwar. Now, I have already shared many small video tutorials with you, and I'm sure you would have gone through the video links and have understood as to what are the things that you, yes, Kartikeya Sharma ji, sir, you have raised your hand. Kartikeya Sharma ji, you have raised your hand. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just telling an example of this mode of teaching. Recently, we had a course from LLF in Chhattisgarh. It was 5 weeks program on online based. In first one, there were 14 districts included, and second one in 13 districts included. They had some nodal mentors for every district, 1 or 2 nodal mentors, and they were contacting the candidates who are failing or discontinuing the course, and they went they just connecting and asked him what is the whether is the problem, what is the problem, and they tried to solve it. And the success rate was about 83% in Chhattisgarh.
Fantastic, sir. Glad to hear that. And at least I am happy that you sort of agree that we need to sort of adopt blended approach for online learning. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, in online learning, we definitely need some nodal persons who can contact the candidate to avoid the problem of isolation.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Right. So now we move on to understanding as to how do you sort of use Padhai Tuar Dwar. I'm sure fairly most of you would have been acquainted. So I will not spend much time here. In case you want me to go in detail, I will do so. Let me know. So how do you register on Padhai Tuar Dwar? Well, basically there are two ways, at least for the teacher and the student. We talk about the teacher first, right? So what you need to do in case there are teachers who have just registered and who have no clue as to how do you use Padhai Tuar Dwar, which is made by the government of Chhattisgarh for the students and teachers of Chhattisgarh and also across the state. What you need to do is open your browser, go to www.cgschool.in. This is the website. As you can see, this is a website that you need to use. Once you are there, then what you need to do is basically go and click on the registration icon here, right? So once you click, then you are asked some basic questions. You fill those details and then you are registered. You need to fill in your mobile number and you will get an OTP. The OTP needs to be entered on the same website, and once you enter the OTP, you are a registered user, right? Now you need to again log in using the same mobile number and password that you have set during your registration, and once you enter, you will get a welcome message with your name. So as you can see, I get a welcome message which says welcome Satyaraj, which is my name, right? So this is the home screen of the Padhai Tuar Dwar. Next, once you are logged in as a teacher, you get a couple of options, and I've tried my best to sort of show you the options, right? The first option that you see is change password. Obviously, this is very easy. I don't have to explain this to you. You can change your password at your will. Second, we have got Shikshak Ke Karya, which talks about teachers' activities, right? So once you click Shikshak Ke Karya, you get all of these features, right? The first feature is Shikshak Profile Sanshodhan. So this is the place where you update all your profile information. For example, your name, address, qualifications, your teaching experience, etc. Right? So once, even there are teachers who keep upgrading themselves with many degrees. So in case you do that, you can also keep updating here so that there is an updated profile of yourself on the portal, right? Second, we talk about Shikshak Dashboard. Now this is teacher dashboard, where once you have created a virtual group, you will get to see how many students and how many teachers are part of your virtual group. Now, how to create a virtual group, I will share it separately, but this is how the virtual classroom looks like. Then it is about content upload kare. Basically, this is the place where you upload all of your content. So time and again, we keep opening this space for teachers to upload their own content, be it in terms of the language or mathematics or science, whatever content that teacher owns intellectual property for, can keep uploading the content on this portal and make it available for the students. Now, please keep in mind that once you upload the content, it does not immediately go to the student. It undergoes 2 review process, which is actually done by DIET team members only. And once the content is approved, only then it is available for the student to see. This is to ensure that any content which is going to the students is of superior quality in nature. Then we have something called as Mere Content Upload. This is the place where we see all the content which have been uploaded by the teacher, and in case the teacher wants to delete it or modify or edit it, he or she may do so using this option. Then we talk about Janch Hetu Homework Shikshak Ko Bheje. Now this is a place where a teacher can send the homework for correction, right? So these are the names of teachers who have been registered on the portal and are also part of my virtual group. This is the virtual group that I just showed you in the previous slide, right? Next is about online class, right? This is the part which I'm sure most of you would have seen or at least would have tried doing yourself, wherein you are given an option where you can set your class you can choose your subject, you can also choose your topic and then schedule your classes accordingly. For example, on the screen as you can see, I have class 4 English and I've got a topic chosen there. And after that what I do is I select the date on which I want to take the classroom. Now an important thing here is that while you set the classroom, please ensure that the timing that you put is always double verified. The reason for stating that is because there are many teachers who time and again make this mistake of entering the time wrong and therefore students do not join their class. For example, in case you are taking a classroom session at 9 a.m., please double check that it is 9 a.m. only. There have been multiple cases where teacher makes a mistake and puts it as 9 p.m. and therefore students do not join the class and teacher ends up waiting in the virtual classroom. So therefore please ensure that the class timing that you are putting is correct and please check it twice. And at the bottom of the screen you will find online class link. This is where you will need to paste the WebEx or Google Meet or GeoMeet or any virtual classroom softwares that you are using. You need to paste the link with the password here, and once you do that, the students will be able to see your classroom sessions on the portal. Now I have created elaborated tutorial videos around it and I have also shared it with you in the group. In case you have any doubts at this point of time, you may please raise anything about online classes. If you have any doubt, please raise. The floor is open.
One question is there, sir.
Yeah.
If we share the link of WebEx app, then is the class counted?
Okay.
Or only we have to share the link?
Very important and a very crucial question, sir. Once you are using any third-party software to create a classroom, it is mandatory. Please, it is mandatory that you please paste all of these links into the portal, and the students will need to join only using the cgschool.in portal. Please bear in mind, I'm sure, sir, you are following it already. The reason you have raised the question is because there might be teachers who are new to this session, and just for their curiosity, let me tell you that in case you share WebEx classroom links directly onto any groups, then your classroom sessions or the students who are joining you will not be counted by the Department of School Education. So therefore, any classrooms that you create, please comply to the rule and put it on the portal and share the link which is provided on the portal. So in the video tutorial that I shared 2 days back, I'm sure you would have all seen there was video number 4 where I had mentioned specifically as to how you can use the WhatsApp or the copy link option available on the portal to share it with the students. So this solves your problem of sharing the link and the students joining your class. Did I answer your question, sir?
Sir, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Any other questions around online classes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. I'm Saeed Qureshi, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Are you taking me, sir? Okay.
Ma'am, I cannot hear you. I would suggest you please use an earphone or keep your phone close to your mouth. Sir, please go ahead, sir. Hello. Hello. Yes, any questions? Any questions around online classes? Any issues that you want to discuss? In case you have been taking classes,
Yes, sir.
do you
Yes,
have any difficulties?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir, I have a question that as you said that while making online classes, you need to paste the WebEx link on it, then the online classes are formed. Okay. And we have to share that to the students. So I just do one thing. I share both the things to my learners. And my learners prefer to connect to the WebEx link more. That's why the number of participants shown in PTD is not that much. In that case, is there any provision by which we can actually show the total number of participants to the PTD?
So the solution lies in your own question. You have been sharing both the links.
Yeah.
Kindly do not share both links.
Yeah.
Share only the PTD link, sir.
Actually, sir, there is a problem with PTD link is that it is a little difficult for the learners to join to connect it. Sometimes they use the different phone and different numbers. That's why they are not able to connect to me. So they WhatsApp me saying that, sir, we are not connected. What should we do? In that case, what should I do? I just want to increase the number of participants. In that case, both the links are very important. If the thing is that we are going to collect the data or number to just show the number, in that case it's okay. Is it better to increase the number of participants, or is it better to only connect to the PTD and show that only 5 participants are there? But in WebEx, if you connect, there are more than 50 or 15 students. So which one is better? What do you think about that? Is the data is very important for the government, or
very pertinent question, but let me tell you, in case you are taking any classrooms directly on WebEx, right? Because we don't unfortunately have our own video conferencing solution, and we have to rely on the third-party tools. And I hope that we will soon come up with our own software. But till that point of time, we have to be dependent on third-party tools. While we do so, it is important that these classroom sessions are also recorded. There have been instances where anybody or we don't know, any stranger enters the class and starts disrupting the classes, right? There have been multiple cases. In fact, I have got
yes,
3 to 4 teachers who contacted me saying, sir, there have been some elements who have joined the class and who have started opening their mics and talking unnecessarily or created some nuisance.
Yes.
So at one hand, we need to ensure that obviously the classrooms are safe and secure place for our students, and in order to do so, we only allow the registered students through our portal. One, it ensures that there is no threat to your classroom environment. Just imagine, sir, in case there is somebody who wants to disrupt your class. You may not have experienced it now, but there are teachers I can give you references to who have experienced this and who have completely stopped taking classes for the fear that they have been putting objectionable content on the online classrooms. Even parents have stopped their students from attending the online classes. So we need to take certain precautions, and these precautions are necessary for our students. And I think we need to keep the safety of our students above anything else. Even if there are 10-15 students, but the session happens in a safe and secure environment, I think that is more important, which is why we again and again keep requesting all the teachers that while you create your online classes, ensure that these classrooms are recorded and these classrooms are also available through PTD portal itself. Now, talking about the entry point for students, yes, some students might find it difficult while they are using different phones. I agree, but we need to gradually move these students to adopt this process, because 3-4 months we didn't even have this portal, right? Where students were just sitting idle, but now at least we have a medium where students are attending these classes, and therefore they have also mastered and they have learned many things. And you would agree to some extent that the students actually know a lot of things, even more than what their parents know, right? So at least the next generation is slightly more advanced and they are a little smart. If not, they are very young, then probably we need to talk to the parents and make an arrangement where students are able to join only through a safer link, which is the Padhai to Urdu link. Now, this is something that you need to choose in case you want to make your classroom more safe and secure.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
We'll try to do our best.
Yes, sir.
So actually, one more problem is there, sir. That is the time limit, because we run out of time all of a sudden. Sometimes it happens because the 50 minutes time restriction is there, because we are using the app without paying any money to the app provider. Actually, that is the reason. So, what is the solution to that?
Right, sir. I don't know if you have gone through the Pragyata instructional guidelines which have been issued by MHRD. I just mentioned about it. Please go through it, sir. It very clearly states that you cannot engage a student for certain number of hours, right? Please go through it. Even if it is 50 minutes class, it is more than sufficient for a primary student. And in case you are engaging students above primary level, then you can take these sessions in 2 different parts, or you can use the same link to join back. At least in WebEx and other softwares, the advantage is you need to tell your students in advance that at the end of 50 minutes, or let's say 45 minutes, you will give them a warning and tell them to rejoin using the same link, and you can reinitiate the classroom link. Some of the teachers have been doing it. Unfortunately, some teachers don't know about it. So in case you want to extend your classrooms, you can again initiate the classroom session at the end of 15 minutes and students can join back these classrooms.
It's the same thing I'm doing, sir.
Okay.
Same link can be reused, sir. Even the time expires.
Please repeat your question, sir.
The same link be reused after the time expires?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can use again that your student will connect again in same class. If your class is not finished, that your student will be connect in same link.
So basically you